Okay, with that, I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to introduce today's spaces, and then I'm going to turn it over to Matt, who's going to be taking it from there. But to kick things off, welcome everyone to this episode of the Masa Weekly Drop. This is a special uh, base space. That just sounds good. There's a special base space building AI on base. In the last few weeks, we've had some really exciting announcements. As you might have seen, the Masa token went live on Base, which we're very excited about. We're really just bullish and ambitious on the Base ecosystem and the ability to bring Masa into Base. And in order to sort of demonstrate our excitement about it, just yesterday, we launched Masa token staking on Base. We also have our Masa airdrop claim, which opens tomorrow for the initial distribution, which will take place on Base. So Base just has so many advantages with low fees, fast transactions, very minimal congestion. They've done a great job scaling it up. And as a part of our launching our Masa token on Base, we also listed the Masa token on Aerodrome, which is the largest DEX on Base by TVL, including a really exciting pool. So to celebrate Masa coming to Base in all of these ways, we wanted to bring up our some of our partners and friends here on Base to join us and jam on Base, what they're building, and AI. So today we're joined by Aerodrome, Virtual Protocol, and Magnet AI. And I'm also joined here by my amazing colleague, Matt, who I'm going to turn over to take the floor to moderate and introduce our guests. So, Matt, have at it. And thank you, everyone, for joining today.
Mateo, thanks for the awesome intro. Psyched to be here. Selfishly, and this is pretty easy for anyone listening to see. I am and have been a huge fan of what's going on at Base. I think a huge part of why we're all here is to onboard more everyday people and to show the power that blockchain can bring to changing, improving everyday lives. And so I'm psyched to be building here. I'm psyched to be talking about Base today. But you've heard enough from me. Let me go around. I'd love to do a quick round of introductions here. We're gonna go alphabetical, and Brendan, I'll let you go last. So Aerodrome team, Ace. You already know in our Telegram channel, I'm a huge Aero degen. Arrow to the moon in my perspective. But tell us a little bit about you and what you guys are up to over at Aerodrome.
Yeah, hey, thanks for inviting me up, and thank you obviously for working with us on getting liquidity for the Masa token on Base. Yeah, so I'm a core contributor. I've been with the team for about a month and a half now. Obviously been in crypto for much longer than that. I've been a big fan of the V33 DEX model, which is what we utilize to help protocols like yourselves bootstrap deep liquidity for your token. So that's a obvious need for any project looking to grow, both in terms of the number of token holders as well as the composability of the token. And we have like you said, thriving DEX ecosystem. We're onboarding, between 5 and 15 new partners on a weekly basis. It's just absolutely crazy the amount of growth on Base. And yeah, AI is a hot narrative. So I think, you guys aren't the very first project, but I think you are for sure the biggest project to be coming on to the Aerodrome platform. So I'm looking forward to chatting today with you guys about all the excitement in the Base ecosystem.
Yeah, love that, Ace. Didn't realize you were so new to the team. I'm sure it's been a whirlwind with that many projects coming on board. But we're psyched to see more and more builders deploying and looking for liquidity on Aerodrome. You can absolutely check out the Masa pool that's there. There's some great APY, and there's some great degen meme coin APYs as well out there amongst others. Magnet, Luke, would love to transition this over to you. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are up to at Magnet.
For sure. So thanks for having me today, and congrats on launching the token. So I'm Luke, co-founder of Magnet AI. So a little bit of background about me. So I got into crypto in 2019 by co-founding Crust Network. So over the past 5 years, we transformed Crust into the largest decentralized storage parachain in the Polkadot ecosystem. So basically, Magnet AI is my second crypto project. So at Magnet AI, we've developed the first modified protocol for trading and sharing tokenized ownership of AI models, bots, or agent. So essentially, we offer a platform for AI creators to tokenize and monetize their AI bots, addressing early to mid stage funding challenges. So on the other side, for AI users, we provide a decentralized AI marketplace to use and trade bots, share revenue, and enjoy various ownership rights. Yeah, so we just finished our $2 million angel round and are in active development right now. We plan to launch our testnet in July. Yeah, so stay tuned on us. But compared with our three partners, we are still a crypto baby. So, but we are excited to win your love and support. Thank you.
Luke, awesome intro, and we're excited to watch your crypto baby grow, and to hopefully help facilitate some of that growth. I really love how you guys are thinking about your protocol and project, and I am excited to dig in a little bit more because I think the more tooling, I think there's a lot of tooling here and opportunities for team members. The more we have, the faster we can build, the more we can change the world. So love that, Luke, and we'll dig in here in a little bit, but virtual protocol. My man Matt, my namesake, jump in here. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are up to.
Hey, just checking you can hear me.
Yep, we got you good, man.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. Yep, I'm also Matt. I'm leading ecosystem and strategy at Virtuals Protocol. Basically what we're doing is we're enabling anyone to create, monetize, and use AI virtual characters and agents. Specifically for the gaming and sort of social use cases. For example, they could be AI NPCs in games, they could be AI companions, AI girlfriends, boyfriends, or even just like chat assistants. So yeah, opportunities are really endless here. We launched on Base mainnet in March. Our token's been live on Base for a bit as well since the start of the year. And we've also been using Aerodrome. So yeah, I mean, great to see you guys here. Aerodrome's been great as well for, bootstrapping liquidity. I think the flywheel is awesome. And a lot of different things that you can do with it as well. Like we've been using the incentives for, incentivizing different communities as well to get more engagement. So yeah, really love the Aerodrome product.
Awesome, Matt. Thanks for the intro. Love to have a fellow Aerodrome partner and another builder in the space. At Masa, we think the agent space is fascinating. There's so much opportunity to create really unique, authentic experiences. So psyched to dig into that a little bit more. I think most people here know him. He's Brendan, our amazing co-founder. But Brendan, jump in for anybody new. Give a little bit of your background. Tell us about when your flight is to Alaska, and tell us a little bit more about
Masa. You're too kind. It's really great to be here with some fantastic partners. Very, very excited for all of the work we're doing together and appreciate all of the support, the Aerodrome team for kind of hand-holding me through setup last week and everyone else who's super excited about what we're doing. We are equally as excited about everything you're building as well, and just really good to be shoulder to shoulder with some great people in the space. So thanks for coming. Going to be a fun spaces today and excited to dig in. It's a bit of background on myself. I've been in the space for the last 10 years, kind of stumbled into the space as an early miner, mining Dogecoin of all things. Doge was, as I say, it gave me my financial freedom. And since that point have been really enamored by the promise that Web3 brings to bring more opportunity to underserved people, like breaking the barriers to accessing finance and sort of leveling the playing field from the old world into this new world that we're building. And many of us on here are very, very excited about the promise of AI. I think one of the key tenets that I believe, the team believes, and Calanthea believes is, we've got to be really careful stepping into this new world of AI that we do not create the same inequalities and disparities that we have with the financial system with access to this amazing tool. It should be democratized. It should be available to everyone. I'll give you an example. Luca, who is our product manager, who I think is on an engineering call today, as opposed to on the spaces, lives in Serbia. Serbia is a pretty normal country in Eastern Europe. Can't use Anthropic. Like, it doesn't matter whether or not we've got an Anthropic license. He is blocked and geofenced from signing up to Anthropic. Like, how does that make any sense? It makes zero sense. So already we're seeing this kind of bifurcation of access to these tools, and tools that are incredibly powerful. And we believe that there are some key components to delivering AI to the world, and that doing this in a decentralized way truly does it in a fair and equitable way. So what we're building, as many of you know, is this, the biggest decentralized data layer for AI. We have a network of node infrastructure that allows user contributed data to be aggregated from a range of sources, can also be aggregated from users. And this can be used in AI for fine-tuning AI agents or training large language models. We have access to, it's literally trillions of gigabytes of data through this network that people can tap into. It's actually around 60 or 70 zettabytes is our estimate. And these sources range from Twitter data for gauging sentiment, understanding what the discourse and dialogue is around topics, getting profiles, personal information from people, website data, and many other data sources that are available on the internet. And like I said, totaling trillions of gigabytes of data. And all of this being used to fine tune and give really robust, highly accurate experiences to individuals. And, super excited to be here. And I'll kick back over to you, Matt.
Awesome. Thanks for the intro there, Brendan. I am certainly very excited about the things we're building and working to provide more equality in a world where AI can be very biased, and also, permissioning and access can be very biased. So psyched to continue our journey here at Masa. But speaking of our journey, we're all here building on Base. We're talking a lot about what's going on in the Base ecosystem today and our excitement. And I'd love to kind of go around, and we can make this a little more free form. So feel free to jump in, and you have comments, team members. But I'd love to just start with how long have each of us been building on Base, and what are we learning? Ace, maybe I'll let you go first. We can kind of continue this order, but everybody feel free to jump in, and let's take it away.
We've been building on Base for 8 months as Aerodrome, and the growth has been kind of staggering even for us. The DEX is, obviously, it's not a new concept. We began building on optimism, 2.5 years ago, kind of the bottom of the bear market, maybe not quite that long ago, but survived and have been thriving now in the early stages of a bull market, specifically, the Base bull market, which has sort of been a meteoric ascent. So I think one of the things that stands out about building in Base is they're playing long-term games. Clearly, when you don't have huge incentives programs to attract builders and attract users, you have to provide other things. Coinbase is obviously bringing in lots and lots of users and the liquidity faucet, but their dev tooling and the Base support team has been incredible. They are the most responsive layer 2 support team I think I've come across, and obviously their evangelization of building in open source and on permissionless networks has been a really awesome thing to see from a Fortune 500 company, and everybody's excited about how dedicated Jesse Pollock is to giving projects the platform they deserve, and regardless of how big, how small, whether you raised capital, you're a single dev. So it's extremely egalitarian in every sense of the word, and we have we've been very fortunate to be the middle of it when it comes to liquidity, and are super happy that we chose to build on Base.
Yeah, Ace, that's a great lead in there, and I certainly echo almost all of the sentiment that you just said around Base. it's a unique and refreshing approach to building an L2, supporting builders. I've been at other L2s. It's definitely differentiated in how they're approaching growth and opportunity, and definitely on the support and availability side. Anytime I've reached out to Jesse, I feel like he responds in like 15 minutes. I don't know if he's got a super powered AI or awesome EA, or Jesse's just a madman, but yeah, he's always available. So shout out there. Would love to toss this question down the line. Luke, tell us more about your guys' journey here, starting at Base, and kind of why you chose to be here at Base.
Sure. So we've only been building on Base for 2 months, so we're pretty new here. But our technical team has over 5 years of experience developing on Ethereum before. So for us, Base is a really fresh blockchain ecosystem with lots of cool features like smart wallet and gasless transactions. So these features let us put a lot of states from our model store, which is our decentralized AI marketplace, directly on chain. So which greatly enhances our protocol security and makes it more convenient for our users.
Yeah, Luke, great call outs. There's definitely some awesome tooling and some great infrastructure that's helping us all kind of improve upon what's been taking place so far. So absolutely support and echo that. Matt, want to toss this question over to you before we kind of move on to the next one. What are your thoughts here? Why'd you guys choose Base? How did this journey start?
Yeah, I think we were first on Ethereum mainnet, and obviously we needed to move to an L2 for our protocol, just purely for cost and like user experience for our users. And then we saw on chain somewhere for Base last year, right? And I think what stuck out to us was kind of what Ace mentioned as well, which was the long-term thinking of the builders, Jesse and the rest of the Coinbase team as well. And I think you can kind of see that reflected in the people that choose to come on Base. You get the really, serious and legit builders, people like Farcaster, Aerodrome, trying to do real proper stuff, right? And I think they've brought a lot of good and vibrancy into the ecosystem. But on the other hand as well, you also get real degens coming in. Stuff like literally degen on Farcaster, meme coins, art, culture, music. I think Base just has the richest ecosystem out of any L2 or even any chain. And I think that's kind of the main reason why we came on to Base, and glad to be a part of it, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more with most of that. I think it's just it's a vibrant place with lots of opportunity, and certainly a good balance of normies coming in, really mature builders building projects like the ones that you mentioned, and then also the degens flowing in. So looking forward to continuing to see that narrative. Brendan, I want to give you an opportunity to just talk about why we chose Base. But before I do so, I'll say, selfishly, for those of us that are listening in the US or live in the US, we know it can be a hard thing to navigate blockchain and crypto here. We know regulatory stuff is not super clear. And so Coinbase is out there fighting the good fight for all of us to have better access to these differentiated systems. And for me, it's not just about all the tooling and the degen activity that I can do, but also, being out here and supporting a builder that's made crypto accessible to a lot of people here in our country. So it's I'm excited to be talking about it. But Brendan, talk to us a little bit more from the Masa side as to why we're here on Base and why we chose to make this technical decision.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good reasons, right? Like listening to the room, there's a range of, where the zeitgeist is right now in terms of where momentum is and the type of people in the organization at Base that are driving it forward, spearheaded by Jesse and really, got the weight of Coinbase as the behemoth it is behind it, to move it forward from a marketing and presence perspective. So we've got this brand cachet that's a real driving force behind the Base ecosystem and essentially makes it inevitable when you're the scale of Coinbase. Secondly, with that sort of inevitability, you have user onboarding, which has kind of been touched upon. I think it's easy to understate the impact of user onboarding from the Coinbase ecosystem directly to Base, where there is typically an inherently high friction to onboarding to Web3. I think the best example we can see of this really is the 2021-22 cycle with BNB chain, where Binance was effectively able to onboard a lot of their users, typically in the degen category, to PancakeSwap, which PancakeSwap is a Binance incubated company, to bring users directly onto BNB chain. And that petered out slightly, I think, at the end of last cycle, and a lot of that market share is now going to Base, which is really exciting. I'm not sure off the top of my head how many millions of users or how many tens of millions of users are both in Coinbase Wallet and Coinbase, their centralized application, but we can easily say it's the market leader in the space and is best positioned to bringing new users into the ecosystem. And if you marry together layer 2 scalability with user abstraction from the kind of tooling we have to use opcodes for like dealing with transactions in the account abstraction layer, you kind of have this very frictionless onboarding experience, which is only going to exponentially increase over just like the next year, even the next 6 months. And we're just going to see this never-ending influx of users and then liquidity as well. And I think positioning yourself as the vessel in which those users and that liquidity gets captured, like Aerodrome here, I think testament to the way their pools work, being that first mover right now, you've got this kind of one opportunity to really capitalize on it. That's why Base, it is inevitable. And the energy, effort, and resources that are going into Base from Coinbase plus the ecosystem of builders is astronomical and very, very hard to quantify.
Yeah, Brendan, I think that's a really, really great call out across a number of different spectrums. You keep saying inevitable, and I keep picturing Thanos, but instead of Thanos, it's Brian, also another bald guy, clenching the gauntlet and saying he's inevitable. I think that's a meme we all need here in the space.
And all of us, right? Like all of us building, you have to look at this thing you're building as inevitable. Like then it just happens.
Yeah. And, you talked a lot about excitement. And Brendan, I saw a tweet last week with some data from, I believe, Doom, but I saw that on any given day, Base is onboarding recently about 50 to 100,000 new users.
That's insane.
Last week, they were approaching 9 million total users, and there's about a 4-to-1 wallets to user ratio. So we're talking in the 2 to 3 million user range that they've onboarded, with more and more coming every day. That gets me hyped to know we're in a space we're building where users are coming and we can help people find value. Let me segue that actually into that's one of the things that excites me most, but I'd love to hear from our other speakers. What excites you most about being at Base, being in this ecosystem, being in these current market conditions? Ace, I want to toss this one to you, and then we'll go down the line. So Luke, you're on the hot seat.
Sure. Base is going to be probably the most unique of the Ethereum layer 2s because of their attachment to the Coinbase side. Coinbase has a lot of different verticals, and I'm expecting all of them to tap into Base in one way, shape, or form. We'll see. Obviously, we've seen CB-ETH proliferate within the Coinbase staking program, and that's now a collateral that we see in Base, especially on our DEX. And I assume more products will be coming in from their institutional side that'll be specifically, within the Base ecosystem. It sort of ties into this special access institutional capital, and we'll see how that kind of manifests on chain. Specifically with our products, we have permissionless pools where anybody can be a liquidity provider, anybody can trade on it, but there may be some, sort of advanced pools that are more private for specific applications, just on the institutional side. I'm not leaking alpha here, guys. I'm really just like riffing. But on the other side of the coin, it's like we realized that Base is going to be connected to the future interoperable scaling solution of the Optimism superchain. And that just unlocks all sorts of cool interactions between the layer twos within superchain, the applications within the superchain. It's going to make things superior in terms of efficiency for any of the layer twos that are trying to scale Ethereum. It's sort of why we chose, to actually build originally with Velodrome. But Aerodrome is going to have a specific use case because of the Coinbase connection and the unique products that will be unlocked from Coinbase, and it's many millions of KYC users. So that's what really excites us the most about Base.
Yeah, Ace. I couldn't agree more with a bunch of those call outs. I think Base is definitely going to be a great place, not just for the normie and retail users to move activity on chain, but some of these real legitimate institutions that want to take advantage of blockchain infrastructure, that want to utilize low fees, decentralized networks, etc. So couldn't agree more there. And also, quick shout out to a couple of my homies, Ryan Wyatt and Amanda, over on the Optimism team, former coworkers of mine, great people. And, we're always fans of what Optimism is doing. Obviously, that's what's enabled us here on the Base side. Luke, would love to hear from you. What's got you excited about Base? What's got you excited about the space in general?
Yeah, so to us, definitely the on-chain summer. It's really becoming a big thing. Everyone loves summer, especially on-chain, and it's like Ace said, like we've seen more and more users and developers choosing to come to Base. Everything on-chain is amazing, and that's exactly what I dreamed of when I first got into blockchain. And the growth of deck sharding, the Dequan upgrade, and the layer 2 ecosystem gave me hope for real world application. And Base has really accelerated this process. Base smart account significantly lower the gas fee, even making transaction gasless, which sets the Base apart from other layer ones or layer twos. So another very interesting from a developer standpoint, the joint incentive program between Base and Optimism is a fantastic because it gives developers support from both ecosystems, kind of like a buy one get one free deal. This really makes Base unique. Yeah.
Yeah, Luke, awesome call outs. On-chain summer, that got me excited last year. I love using on-chain. I think that's a great simple segue to help people understand. I hope on-chain summer V2 this year is driven by AI products and continuing user adoption. But Matt, tell us a little bit more about you guys and what's got you excited heading into this on-chain summer here on Base.
Yeah, I'll keep this short because I think everything's been said already. But I think Base is pretty much the consumer chain where you have stuff like Farcaster, you have stuff like Friendtech that suits, both the degens, but also the serious thinkers and writers. And I think all of these consumers coming in, the minting stuff, NFTs, all these different things. And I think we see this as really great. Even for projects such as us, you guys at Masa, Aerodrome, they come in through art, they come in through culture, then they discover DeFi, they discover different protocols building on the chain. And I think that's really great for all of the different ecosystems. For example, for us, because we focus more on interactive, real-time AI characters, I think we see that as also a good fit for consumers because it's a more visually focused thing. So yeah, I think really excited for this coming on-chain summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Matt, I keep forgetting that we're leaving you here at the backside and you're getting everyone else's comments. So I want to start with you.
All good.
I want to start with you for the next question. We've talked a lot about excitement. But we all know building in blockchain is really hard. What are some of the challenges you guys have had at Virtuals, and how'd you overcome them? Are are there still challenges? Plug to any builders listening in, but any thoughts there, Matt?
Wow, challenges. I'm gonna say no significant challenges we've had building on base. I think it's more on the sort of something that took us a little bit of time to adjust to was more of the culture on chain. I think when we first came into base, towards the end of on chain summer last year, it took us a bit of time to understand what's going on, right? There's a lot of things happening. So I think to new protocols maybe considering coming on base, I guess my learning there is sort of to take some time to just understand what's going on. Maybe go on Farcaster a bit, understand the culture, understand Farcaster frames, understand how you can leverage all the different protocols. How can you use Aerodrome to bootstrap your liquidity? So how can you use different protocols to your advantage as well? Because the base ecosystem is meant to help each other. It's not really a dog eat dog kind of world here because the pie is big enough for everyone. So I guess that's my learning.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense. It's we know this world can be chaotic and overwhelming. I generally feel like daily FOMO that I'm missing out on trying some new product or owning some new coin. But yeah,
Exactly.
I very much agree. This is a collaborative environment where we're all trying to accelerate each other's flywheels and build each other up. And yeah, these are dogs collaborating. Quick dog in me plug. That's one of my favorite memes on base. Loving it in my Aerodrome pool as well. But Brendan, I wanna toss to you. We love talking about challenges. Challenges are what make us better. Any challenges we've had so far from the technical side that you want to talk about?
Yeah, on base. No, like I'll put it this way, which is answering your question, but not answering it in a way. Originally, we were thinking of launching our own OP stack chain. And at the time, this was probably 18 months ago, OP stack was very, very much more underdeveloped from a developer's perspective. So what I mean by this is, going from sort of code to bare metal or cloud to get your sequencer set up and actually launch the chain was relatively underdeveloped from like a documentation and tooling perspective. Base came along, took this framework, worked with Optimism, and there has been, crazy contributions both on the base side and, cross-functioning across the ecosystem. And as a result, the friction from a development perspective has been close to zero. I think the only thing that I complained about at the beginning was not having Dune analytics support very, very early on. Like Dune wasn't indexing base very early on. And there are some weird quirks with like base scan that aren't the same as Etherscan. But all of these things are very, very much like nice to haves. So yeah, like to be able to get low gas fee, easy access to users, the same EVM type compatibility out of the box where you can deploy in a blink of an eye. It's just been a very smooth, joyous experience to work with the tech stack. So really, really good.
I love to hear that. Obviously, good promotion for builders listening here, thinking about choosing base. Brendan, our technical wizard, says there haven't been a lot of challenges. That seems like a good vote of confidence. Luke, you guys are the earliest here in this journey. Any thoughts here on challenges? Anything that's been difficult to overcome so far in your baby journey here on base?
Okay, I'll make it short because we are crypto baby. So we haven't faced many technical challenges since Base is EVM compatible and our technical team is fully experienced. But we expect more complexities when implementing specific use cases with other projects on Base. To ensure flawless interoperability, robust security, and the smoothest user experience. So integrating these elements seamlessly is crucial for delivery a reliable and user-friendly platform. So we definitely need to learn more from our three partners. But we're still learning. But everything is it looks so based. Yeah.
Love that it's going well so far, and certainly here to support and give advice as you run into things. So appreciate that, Luke. Ace, you guys are probably the most mature. You've got a big, robust product, tons of transactions, tons of tokens. Have there been any challenges from your perspective?
Oh yeah, lots of challenges. As you mentioned, the velocity of inbound is pretty staggering, and trying to keep up with that from a growth point of view is a big challenge. That's part of why I was brought into the team. I'm one of two people that were brought in sort of on the business marketing side of the organization. But we're constantly cycling through devs to help us build out internal features and new products as well. So we actually had to hire a lawyer and a COO to manage some of the more logistics administrative stuff too. So it's like big time growth, which is a good problem to have. I think in terms of like how other people are just so busy and focused, whenever we have new product dependencies, it's been a challenge to get time and attention from other teams. So one example is like we just released our Slipstream product, which is concentrated liquidity for Aerodrome, and everyone knows concentrated liquidity is the best. It's a way to get much higher size trades with less liquidity, so it's a far more capital efficient solution than the existing original UniV2 style pools. We only have, I think, half of the aggregators tied into our pool so far because they've been so busy doing other things. What's remarkable about that is even without 1inch and Paraswap, 0x, like the largest aggregators, we've already had days where we've pushed more volume through our Slipstream pools than the comparable Uniswap pools on Base. So it just shows you the value of deep liquidity. It's like it's becoming more productive by the day, and we're excited to get all the aggregators on board because we're just going to dominate the volume on Base.
Yeah, Ace, it's great to hear that the challenges are on the scale, the human, the partner side, where there's so much activity. You've got to work through it, and I've been at projects like that, and it's an awesome problem to have, but sometimes it's one of the hardest problems to have because everyone's so busy, it's hard to get attention. So absolutely hear that, and I've definitely been messing around in a few of the Slipstream pools. It's my first deep foray into concentrated liquidity, and it's been fun to learn and figure out where I need to be from a price perspective. But I'm loving the returns. So appreciate you calling that out. And Ace, I wanna come back to you here. We've got a handful of AI projects in the space, so we'll bring our own biases to the table when we answer this question. But what's your view on the AI space, AI coming into blockchain, AI on Base? How do you see it as kind of an outsider on this call? Would love to hear your take.
Yeah, I'll leave you guys to comment on the LLMs and the various applications, but I totally agree on we need to keep it open and decentralized and accessible. That sort of aligns very well with the crypto ethos. The way that we've been utilizing, I guess AI is mostly from a data analytics point of view, and we're leveraging all of the various data that we have in terms of what we can get from the blockchain through our Dune dashboards to make data-driven decisions. And it's been extremely effective. I know we're not doing nearly as much as we could. So I really want to get more familiar with all of your products and feel free to pitch us on ways that we could become even more efficient using this rich data lake, both on chain and from external sources. So it gets me really excited about obviously a big narrative to draw in new builders and people who haven't paid attention to Web3. So yeah, excited that you guys are all doing your best, your part to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for saying that. And as as a BD marketing and partnerships guy as well, I've been degenning over here in my corner on how our product can start to be used by more folks like you and me. So I'll happily share some thoughts there. Brendan's probably over there worrying about how I want to change the roadmap to meet my needs. Don't worry, Brendan, we're still fully aligned. But Luke,
never worrying, Matt. Never worrying.
Good. Luke, I'd love to hear, how you're thinking about AI in the base space. Do you think we're overhyped, underhyped? Like, tell us more about it in general.
Yeah. So in my view, the whole decentralized storage narrative is absolutely underhyped. So when we look back at the history of brief history of crypto, every Web3 bull run brings a couple of hot topics that help more people discover and use Web3. So driving its massive adoption. So back in 2013, it was all about BTC mining machines, which got a lot of traditional companies interested in Bitcoin mining and made Bitcoin more known to the public. And in 2017, it was Ethereum's big year, with a boom in dApps like CryptoKitties. And then last bull run in 2021, we saw a lot of mainstream interest with things like DeFi, NFTs, and GameFi. So when we're looking right now, this bull run, about 2024's bull run, I think AI will be the big thing because AI fits perfectly with Web3, and it's something people all over the world are already using. So if AI is going to lead the next wave of Web3 adoption, the decentralized AI is definitely underhyped right now. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, Luke, I love the bear case and energy here. Bull case and energy here. Bull case. Misspoke there. But yes, I'm also on the bull side with you. I'll keep my comments quiet for now. Matt, what do we think about the AI space? Underhyped, overhyped? Tell us about how you guys are thinking about it.
Yeah, I think it's both. So I think it's overhyped in the very short term because when people see the promise of what decentralized AI holds, where people get agency and ownership around what sort of models they use, what data goes into these models, and having assurance that the inferences you're getting is from the right models. When all of these things, when people see the promise of this, what you get is that gold rush where everyone's rushing in to build on it. You get people trying to do really good stuff, but at the same time, you get people also trying to just capitalize on the hype, which is where I say it's slightly overhyped in that sense. But I think once the dust settles and you get people doing long-term things in the space, is where I think you'll see it's really underhyped in the long term, because that's when that promise actually becomes real. And I think that's just going to be an amazing day, and we'll definitely be here for that. So yeah, I mean, the promise is clear, and definitely staying in this for the long run.
Yeah, Matt, great level-headed approach here. As bullish as I generally am, I think what you said really hits true, which is there's lots for us to still do. And what I heard you saying in my head, I was connecting to the fact that many of us, even those of us talking here today, are very early in our journey building AI and that hybrid with blockchain, and we still have lots of development to do. Brendan, I want to hear from you. You're the leader and builder on the tech side here. You're probably the deepest tech individual on the call. Like, talk to us. Are we too bearish? Should we be more bullish? Talk to us about our perspective on AI at Masa.
Yeah, that is a good question. So I often talk in the organization that we're in the first innings of a multi-year cycle that extends 7 to 8 years. I think if we look at most tech cycles, they sort of span a decade. And if we think about GPT 2, 3.5, like, we don't think about the GPTs from OpenAI before 3.5 because it was relatively avant-garde. It was pretty sort of, on the fringe with people, and it wasn't highly performant. So, a lot of us that have been building in the AI machine learning space have been doing this for the last, 6, 7, 8 years, if not longer. And it really is only recently this has kind of come into the zeitgeist, the common kind of vernacular, the news. But all of the hype we're seeing now is just the beginning. Like if you cast yourself back to 2015, 2016, the Ethereum ICO, and then sort of what kind of came after it, this is where we are today. And I think there's both like a slight, I'm kind of in awe about where we're likely going in this cycle, but also I have like a reverence in as much as I want us to respect the market as well. Right now, we live in this world where, valuations of all these hyped AI companies, like we really have to deliver on these valuations. Like there is a big gap that we have to fill. And this cycle is going to play out until 2028, 2030. I say this, like we had big rounds of funding a year and a half, 2 years ago. We're going to have more rounds of funding for like Web2 AI companies, Web3 AI companies coming end of this year because you burn a lot building AI. And those kind of A, B, C rounds are going to start galvanizing the winners for 5 or 6 years from now, when we might start seeing the first set of IPOs, which is obviously very different to what we're all doing here in the token-based economy in Web3. So I am extremely bullish. Like I don't think you could find much else that I could be more bullish on, having sort of seen this space evolve over the last 10 years. I think we're at the Bitcoin and Ethereum moment, in as much as we have technology that is really new, really exciting. It is yet to deliver on the promise. I think there's a huge promise for it to deliver on. But, given that this is just the start, the space is going to get crazy. Like we think it's crazy now. It's only going to get more crazy. And we'll be looking back at this in, the end of this cycle. We then have another cycle to go into after a bear market. And yeah, it's going to, I think, surprise us all, to be honest with you. So extremely bullish, but also where there's a ton of work for us all to do. And we have to deliver on this promise of what decentralized AI can really be, because I do think it's the perfect union of Web3 and, something that's transforming the world at like a pace we've never seen before.
Yeah, Brendan, really, really well said on the bull sentiment. I echo almost all of the comments here in terms of being bullish, but also, advising caution, and there's still a lot of building
Cautious,
to be done.
Right?
Yeah, it's definitely some caution, but I originally came into this space for DeFi and decentralized finance and all the power that it can bring, and I found myself moving as I've learned more about AI and the combination with blockchain to the fact that as these LLMs proliferate, we're going to get more and more scams, more and more difficult to discern what is real, what is fake, what is AI, what is a human. And I think blockchain has some really powerful tooling to help level that playing field for the everyday person. I mean, we all know how many scam emails and scam calls get sent every day, and unfortunately, a lot of the older folks are opening those emails and losing money and doing things, and it's only going to get harder, and us young folks are start going to getting hit with that. So I think blockchain will be a huge tool to help kind of level the playing field as AI gets more and more lifelike. But I wanna take a moment here. Amateo, Zach, let's prepare if there are any community questions, things like that. But I want to give everybody an opportunity to wrap up with final thoughts, and then let's take any questions that come through. And this has been a really exciting space for me. I feel like we could talk for ages. So we'll go reverse order again. So Matt, why don't we hit you up, then Luke, then Ace, and we'll let Brendan wrap us up on the Masa side.
Yeah, I mean, was a great space. I think we've said a lot around Base, the ecosystem, the support we get, the infrastructure that Base is providing as well. No denying that. And on the AI side, I think we're just seeing the proliferation of decentralized AI on Base. Really excited for the future. And I think, Virtual Protocol is also, doing a lot. And I think with the on-chain summer coming, a lot of things to be excited for. Not gonna say too much now, but I think got things to look forward to. But yeah, I mean, appreciate you guys inviting us over. And if there are any questions after this, happy to take it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that. Looking forward to diving deeper with you guys on the virtuals team. Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, so again, thanks for having me today and with this amazing, beautiful Friday. So AI is something our team has been focused on for over 8 years. What super excites us the most about AI is not actually about itself. It's definitely the combination with Web3. It's exactly like Brendan mentioned before. So which is why we created Magnet AI. So yeah, so next big thing or something, our homepage will launch soon, and so will our Galaxy campaign. So please follow us to win the reward. And we're also hosting the first Magnet AI open house, like an in-person event in Austin during Consensus. So if you're in town, please just come join us.
Yeah, Luke, great call outs there. I had Consensus on my end of wrap up, but yes, if anybody's going to be at Consensus, reach out to our teams. I'm psyched to meet the Magnet AI team in person. I live here in Austin, Texas, so it's an easy one for me. But Ace, would love to hear any final thoughts from you here.
Learned a lot. Respect all of you guys as builders, and I'm excited that you've chosen Base as your home. Things are a little quieter from a crypto markets perspective, and I think it's a good time for those of you who are listening to take some time and try to grok the model that Aerodrome is leveraging. Our flywheel has made a lot of protocols, traders, and our team very happy. It's a very win-win-win symbiotic relationship, and it takes some time to really grok, but definitely spend some time on that. We do have a new Medium post coming out next week to kind of toot our horn about the success we've had. So pay attention to socials, and I will promote that as well.
Awesome, Ace. Appreciate you taking the time. Again, as an Aero DGen, totally support that message. Go check it out if you haven't. It's really a place that's re-energized my excitement around deep DeFi behavior. So thanks for being here, Ace. Brendan, why don't you wrap up final thoughts from a Masa perspective?
Yeah, no, I just want to say I'm very grateful for everyone from the community turning up today and all of these wonderful builders that we're working with across the space. Like, I think the future is really bright. And like Ace was saying, we're in this moment of calm in between storms. It's a great time to take a step back, really focus on building, take a breath before the next wave comes, and really kind of figure out the quality in the market and the quality in the product. And it's for us to really work with you to deliver something that's going to add huge value and amazing. I'm really excited about the next three months for us, especially at Masa. We're obviously focusing on building out on the base ecosystem, but we have other AI layer ones that we're partnering up with. Won't drop any specific alpha there or kind of give the information. We have some really exciting partnerships and deployments coming up. And yeah, thrilled to onboard more node workers and give more valuable data to everyone that's building it in AI. So really exciting time, and AI summer is coming. Yes, on-chain summer, but I'm very, very excited about AI summer.
AI summer. You heard it here first from Brendan. Look for some hashtags on social at some point. But no, seriously, it's been awesome having everybody here. I've really learned a lot. I've appreciated hearing people's perspectives, and I hope this is the first of many spaces not only highlighting AI, not only highlighting the power and utility that Base is bringing to the masses, but also hopefully more celebrating wins and watching this market grow. So I'm super bullish. I will wrap up with a thank you and a shout out to Semi on the Coinbase team. Don't know if you're listening or here, but you've helped put a lot of us together, and we appreciate you and the Coinbase's team support. And so with that, I think we can go ahead and wrap up. Ace, Luke, Matt, thank you so much for participating today. We're excited to continue working with you here in the Base ecosystem, and hopefully meeting many of you at Consensus. So slide into my DMs if you're going to be here. If we're in Telegram channels with you, let us know if you're going to be at Consensus. And we're really excited for AI Summer, building Summer on Base, on-chain Summer, and all these things. So appreciate everybody for being here.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have
Good
a
morning.
good
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a good Friday.